we're back with the snail. The 911 Turbo S build continues. We've done downpipes, exhaust, we've done an intake, carbon fiber intake, and intercoolers. So the next step, naturally, TL Zona turbos. So these are the XRE 53s. I've seen a lot of 911 Turbo S builds, 992 builds that do like 900 wheel horsepower. So let's find out what these turbos make.
We put Zona turbos on. They're XRE 53s, so they're pretty small. I'm not expecting to make over 800 wheel on pump gas and over 1,000 on race gas, but this is our starting point, our base. We're gonna use this turbo to do some development with Zona. I spoke to the guys at Zona and I was like, guys, how are these turbos? What power do they make? Can we go bigger? They were like, we can go bigger, but nobody actually gave us feedback on these turbos. So we don't really know what to change. We don't just want to make them bigger for the sake of making them bigger. Anyway, so we're going to do some real R&D on these turbos and see what power we can get out of them. But as I said, not expecting more than 800 wheel on pump and more than 1,000 on race. We have clutches coming for this as well. We're changing the map sensors to 4-bar map sensors. These use the same map sensors as the DAZA platform, which we're very familiar with, and the RS68 and the Urus, so they use the scent protocol. We have high pressure fuel pumps coming for this as well. Again, same high pressure fuel pumps as the RS68, and we'll crank things up. We will run it on race gasoline. We're not going to switch to ethanol just yet. I don't think we need to. Ultimately, I want to keep this car as a street car, no meth, no bullshit fueling solutions, just something that can use every day without issues, you know.
I've seen builds without a high pressure fuel pump do like 850, 900. What's the bottleneck with this now? Is it the fuel pump?
I'll be totally honest, it came from the horse's mouth. I spoke to Zona, I was like, how are these turbos? How do they perform? And they're like, nobody gave us any feedback on them. It just goes to show, like, this industry is just total bullshit, right? All of these figures that go out, they're just mostly bullshit. Like, everything is smoke and mirrors in this industry. It's why when I got into the McLaren platform, I realized very quickly that nobody has any idea what they're doing with this platform, and I had to do all the R&D by myself. I'll be honest, it's the same with the 992. Nobody has any real solutions for this. They whack a turbo on, they change the map sensors, and they claim 1100 wheel. But we're gonna go back to the drawing board, we're gonna do our own R&D, and we're gonna build a fast car. Alright guys, so we had this stock 765 LT rolling, new to the owner. It's got 15,000 kilometers on it, so EU spec car, 2021 model, blown oil pump. How unfortunate. The 765s do have the Senna pumps, but it seems that they fail as well. This is our second failure that we've seen on a Senna oil pump. Not good. So now we have the engine out of the car. We're gonna pull the front main cover off to see if it's the chain that snapped, the shaft that snapped, or if it's the alternator that seized. You know, these are the three things that usually happen when the oil pump fails. So yeah, we're gonna pull this apart. Of course, once we have it apart, we'll build it as well. And the thing is, when your oil pump fails, you really need to strip your engine to see what's damaged. We've seen cases from before when you saw that the connecting rod seized to the crank and it just snapped in half. And then we've also seen cases where there's been no damage at all. And then we've also seen cases where the cylinder heads have had to be replaced because the cylinder head is lowest oil pressure priority. So we're going to tear down the entire engine and see what's damaged, replace it, build it back up. We'll be building the engine as well because why not? If you have your engine open, it'd be really silly not to build it at the same time. You don't want to build it with stock components, you know, and we'll warranty it as well. Guys, can you get the front main cover off? It's kind of sad to see the Senna pumps failing. I wonder if we can work on an upgraded oil pump. The owner was like, I'm getting a lot of blue flames out of the exhaust. And he was like, the more I drove it, the bigger the flames got. But this is a bone stock 765, guys, and it's melting the cats as well. So this is why we started fitting EMAP sensors, because when the EMAP sensors can detect if the cats are failing, if you have cats. So yeah, another reason why EMAPs are important. Both sides, both of the cats failed on this. But yeah, 765 things. So usually when you have an oil pump failure on a McLaren and you take the timing cover off, you'll see one of two things. Either the chain will be broken, that means the pump is seized, or the chain will be intact, and usually that means the shaft inside the oil pump has literally sheared off. So now when we take this apart, we'll find the shaft is no longer connected to the oil pump. And when your oil pump fails, every millisecond the engine is on, the more damage that is being created. So if you get the battery light and the low oil pressure light on a McLaren, switch it off straight away, because every second or millisecond the engine is on, the more damage that is being created, because your oil pump it's like the heart of the engine, right? So if the oil pump fails, then it's like your body. If your heart fails, then it's game over, man. You're not going to recover from that one. So say you have a broken chain, you know, someone might say, why don't you put a stronger chain in it? If you put a stronger chain in it, then the next weakest link will break. It's not the chain that breaks because it's weak. It's like the weakest thing breaks. So in this case, it was not the chain, it was probably going to be the shaft. The shaft is broken. Is the alternator still spinning? Yeah, so see, now he's spinning the alternator to the oil pump. So what that means is something between the front of the oil pump and the back of the oil pump is broken. So something inside the oil pump being the shaft. So we already know the shaft is broken. What we don't know is how much damage has been caused by the shaft being broken, by oil not lubricating through the engine, and the engine obviously, I mean, let's be honest, the engine was running when the oil pump broke, right? And someone probably started it. So we won't know until we strip the engine. There's no way of knowing.
So Osama is just test driving a car he's going to buy. There he is.
$10,000.
You're kidding. You're f***ing kidding. You like it?
Yeah.
I like it.
Shit. There's a lot of noise underneath, like the suspensions. Someone likes the BMW. I told him it's a shit car, bro.
Something is touching over there, bro. Shock up is good.
When you drive slowly, there is some clack, 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 clack.
Yeah, bro, it's the upper arm. But it's for 10K. I know he's like bargaining for like a lower price, but like 10K, bro, come on. See how it stalls? The transmission before it changes gear, it stalls, right?
It's good, but it's not that great.
What's failed. This is the damaged one. But why did it break? You don't know. Why is this like this? It's normal.
Yeah, it's good. This is the bearing place. The bearing is damaged, and that's why we damaged this.
So why there is a recess here and there is none here? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The problem is this bearing isn't getting any oil. We stripped the oil pump down to see what's going on. So this is the nose end of the oil pump. This is where the timing chain turns. And this is the shaft inside the oil pump. So you have the oil pump here. This would be the shaft here. And basically what is broken is this shaft. So something, I don't know what exactly, has seized. And when it's seized, it's broken the shaft into pieces. It's literally just sheared off, which is kind of crazy. There's a bit of wear there as well. If you do get an oil pump failure, I would inspect the alternator just in case, because the oil pump is connected to the alternator. So if the alternator was to seize, it would also stop the engine oil pump from turning. So this end connects to the oil pump, and if the oil pump stops turning, the alternator stops turning. If the alternator stops turning, it will stop the oil pump turning, and that is very dangerous. So it's not like this on any car. It's like this on McLarens in particular, because McLarens have a very interesting ancillary gear setup. Yeah, this is okay. The stock alternators on the McLarens, they're rated for 220 amps. The McLarens use those 220 amps, so you can be rest assured. We upgrade them to 250 amp units. They support more output, right? So you get more headroom.
So for this car we did service. We changed the fluids, and then we will check the levels. Almost finished. We did AC gas, AC filter, engine oil, clutch oil filter clean, and that's it.